What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? BizzyDad here. You there checking out this Force of Will Faceoff. I am on the left. I am playing my Machina, the Max Payne deck. This is void, but I am running blue stones in here because of a change I made to make this deck all Alice cluster, and I'm taking on my good friend and sparring partner Mike Harley. He is on the right playing a black, red, blue Shion with 12 apostles. So a new deck on Mike's part, and I've tinkered with my Machina deck, and I will put the card changes right here on the screen so you could see. Mike has won the dice roll, and he is going to go first. I don't have a lot of success with dice rolls here in these face-offs, so I'm shipping back one. It looks like Mike is doing the same. So the Machina deck is machines and some really good additions to make it all Alice cluster and make it a little more versatile for me. As you could see, Mike's Shion ability is always to be able to look at the top card of his deck at all times. He goes first, calls stone, gets a red-blue, but has no play, so he's going to pass to me. I draw, I call a stone, and it is a dark depth, a black-blue. I don't run any black. I only run blue support in here, and I play my Maribel Regalia, and I pass the turn. So Mike is going to draw and recover, and he pulls out the red-black dual stone, takes a look at the top card of his deck, and is going to play the Messenger Familiar. So a little one-drop, but when it hits the graveyard, he gets to search for a 12 Apostle, and he passes turn. So I'm going to draw, and before recovery, I'm going to spend one stone for Machina's ability to search for an addition or resonator for as much as you spend. So I could search out a one-drop resonator or addition, and I'm going to grab the Clockwork Soldier. This is what makes Machina such a great ruler and why I prefer him over the 2.0 Machina in BFA. The ability to search your deck, it just helps build your hand up as you go along. I call a blue stone, and I'm going to spend it for the Clockwork Soldier. Nothing else going on, so I'm going to pass the turn. Mike will draw and recover. Tap stone, gets another black-blue, so he actually gets his black-blue, so he's got all three of his stones out. Takes a look at the top card of his deck to see what he's drawing next, and now has to figure out what to do. He's going to spend two. He's going to spend 2 dark for Lapis's Dark Storm, one of my favorite cards. So this is the random. I'm going to lay my cards out 1 through 6. He's going to roll a die, and he rolls a 6. So I ask him which one he's considering 6. It's going to be that one at the end, and it is a remote control beast. Kind of stinks to have to lose that one. So that's the random discard, and now I have to go and discard a second one, but I get to choose. Lapis's Dark Storm is such a great card. I always say that discard is death in this game. So I choose to get rid of the Power Supply team, and that's his only move. I'm surprised he didn't attack with the Messenger Familiar, try to get me to either block so he can get a 12 Apostle, but I probably would have just taken the 100. So I'm going to draw, and again, before recovery, I'm going to search for a one-drop. I'm going to get the Magic Screw. There's a great one-drop addition to be able to search out with Machina before recovery if you have the open stone. Especially the fact that I just had to discard 2 cards. I want to replenish my hand a little bit. Excuse me. So we're going to recover and call a stone. It's a basic blue. If you see between me and Mike when we search and pull out cards and shuffle, usually in a tournament you do want to cut your opponent's deck after the shuffle. That option for us is always out there, but we trust each other and we know we're not up to shenanigans, so we just leave it as is. So I'm going to spend 1 to put the Magic Screw on the Clockwork Soldier, which makes him a 9/9 with target attack, and I play 2 more stones to put a standby card down. And Mike knows me and knows I like tricks, and so that standby card definitely gave him a little bit of a pause. So he draws and calls a stone, gets another black-blue. And now Mike is trying to figure out his next play. The advantage of having Shion and knowing what you're going to draw next. Here's a black-blue for Space-Time Anomaly. This is an instant that's going to drop it's going to target Resonator gains -5/-5 until end of turn, and then draw a card. Now here he has Remnant, and he's going to try to play it again, and that's going to hit my standby card. I have the Dummy Doll, and the trigger for Dummy Doll is any spell or ability that targets a machine resonator you control. You cancel the spell or ability and draw a card. So Mike's second attempt at the Space-Time Anomaly fails. He does not get to draw a card, and on my end, the Dummy Doll gets to come out onto the field. The spell is canceled, and I get to draw the card. So a little bit of a reversal right at him. He did not expect that. He did not think I was going to run the Dummy Doll. And so his plan backfires, and he passes the turn. So I recover. I draw, recover, call a stone, and get another blue. So like I said, there is no black in this deck. I just run blue stones. I only have blue support in here. But we filmed a few games this day, and I had the black blues handy, so just decided to run them knowing that I'm going to need them for the blue, but not the black. So just minor details. I see Mike is tapped out here. He's got all of his stones rested. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want to play this. If I want to waste all my stones to put some more board presence. I know I have that 9/9 target attack, Clockwork Soldier, that I know I could swing with, but he's just itching to block with the Messenger Familiar and get a 12 Apostle. So I'm going to frustrate him by not attacking and just letting that Messenger Familiar stay on the board as long as possible. I don't feel I'm in any danger, especially since that's Mike's only Resonator at the moment. So I'm going to spend 3 for Dark Machina, and when he enters the field, I get to search my deck for any card with no attribute and reveal it and put it into my hands. You see I picked up my deck and then put it back down real quick to check my hand. I choose a remote control beast. Like I was saying, I had the deck in my hand, and I put it down to look at my hand again. You never want to have your hand and your deck too close to where your opponent might think you're up to something. So always good to play it safe. I leave the 1 stone open. I do not put out the remote control beast, and I pass the turn to Mike, who draws into his Hydromonica Regalia, and it's crucial for a Shion deck. Shion lets you look at the top card of your deck at any time, and Hydromonica can rest to put that top card at the bottom. So you know what's coming, and if you don't like it, you could ship it to the bottom. Mike plays 3 for the Shangri-Lapis shift card. So it's going to come in on the darkness side. This is the regulation side up. And when he enters the field, he gets to search his deck for the Ataraxia Shift Edition Regalia and a 12 Apostles. Reveal them and put them into his hand. So he's searching right now for that. And there is the edition, the Regalia, the Shift Regalia for Ataraxia. And now he's going to find his 12 Apostles. He will choose. Who's he going to choose? He chooses Adamberly, which is pretty smart. I'm not attacking or letting his messenger get killed off so he could search. So Adamberly is a pretty good card to have in his hand because he could incarnate when he's ready and get rid of that messenger familiar. So he's going to take a look at the top card. He still has 2 stones if he chooses to, and he's going to use 1, or is he going to use both? He's going to use 2 for a standby card of his own. So a little secret, and we'll see if I stumble onto the trigger and get to see exactly what that is. So he passes the turn. I'm going to draw, and here I'm pump faking like I'm going to search with that open stone before recovery. But instead I'm going to pay the 1, rest my Maribel, and banish it to pop his Hydromonica. And I don't think he was expecting me to do that, and he has no response. So that ended up being a pretty good play because Hydromonica is important for a Shion deck. So I definitely slowed him down a little bit with that. I have my 4 stones up. I haven't called a stone yet. I am looking at my hand and debating whether or not a judgment would be a slick move right here, especially since he's tapped out and has 2 blockers, but I'm not there yet, so I'm going to call stone. And now I have 5 open stones here. I still have my 9/9 target attack Clockwork Soldier. The dummy doll is a 0 attack 600, so he's just out there for defense. I'm going to pay 2 for another standby card. And if Mike is putting me on the dummy doll down there again, he will probably be hesitant about playing any spells on my machines. So looking at my cards, debating on what to do. And I'm tempted to just swing with the Clockwork Soldier, but I also know that he's not going to incarnate both the Messenger and Gil for his Adomberly, so I don't want to give him that. And I am going to pass the turn, which is interesting. I'm going to leave 3 stones up. While I did this, my plan was that if I can keep all 3 stones until my next turn, I would use them to search for a 3-drop Resonator out of my deck. But I'm going to see what Mike does first. So he draws, recovers, and calls a stone, gets another black-red. So now with 6 stones available, I'm sitting here thinking that a play is coming. He is going to want to do something, maybe put out another smaller Resonator and incarnate for a Adomberly. I know he's got that in his hand. So it's all a matter of what he does, and I'm going to try to react to it. So he's going to spend 4 and shift the Gil over to its fire side. So when that happens, it's 2 red and 2 other to do. And when that happens, he gets to either shift another card for free, or he gets to play a 12 Apostles out of his hand, and he plays the Behemoth. That is a huge card. The only catch is you could play it out of your hand, and it gains swiftness, but at the end of turn, it has to be removed from the game. So Behemoth will get to come out for 1 big swing, and he's going to give it the blood-covered War Axe, which pumps it up 400, and when it attacks, it also deals 200 damage to each Resonator, which is crucial for Behemoth, because anytime Behemoth attacks and deals damage to a Resonator, that amount your opponent has to take as well. 5 other Resonators on the board means I'm going to be dealt 1,000 damage, plus he's swinging at me with Behemoth for 1,900. So this is a 2,900 swing, and here, guys, I hit sniping from the blind spot, which returns a rested Resonator, to its owner's hand. And just, guys, a huge gut punch, and I've been waiting to play this card, and there it is. Behemoth goes back to his hand, the blood-covered War Axe goes to the grave, and at the end of this turn, he still has to remove Behemoth from the game. So just completely deflating to spend the 5 stones just for it to be a complete waste. The Behemoth goes back to his hand. The War Axe goes into the grave. None of that damage gets through. And he's going to pay 1 for another Messenger Familiar here. Now, this is where I thought he would incarnate with a Adomberly, but he decides to just pass the turn. So I'm going to draw, and before recovery, I'm going to spend the 2 to search for a 2-drop, and I search for the Clockwork Scout Plane. Don't really like to not have the Scout Plane throughout the game. It's a flyer, especially if you can get the screw on the plane. It's an 1100 flyer, which is so dangerous. It causes so much trouble. But I get it now, and I shuffle, add it to my hand, and recover. Mike is now tapped out as he was last turn. And I see that, and I see that this is a really good chance. So I'm going to pay 4 to J-activate and flip Machina over. So once Machina enters the field, I get to put 3 Resonators or additions that are void. And I'm going to bring Maribel, another Mary Bell, the Insane Doll, and the Clockwork Scout Plane. And I'm waiting to see if that standby card is going to come out. I'm worried about Flame Trap, but it's not there. So I'm going to now see I have 5 machines. I'm going to play the Remote Control Beast because that is free. March of the Machine Lords is free, and another March of the Machine Lords is free. So now all my resonators with no attributes gain swiftness and +6/+6. For good measure, I throw another Clockwork Soldier out there, and this is the whole idea of the deck for the machines, to just flood the board and now send the house. And Mike is looking at a boatload of damage. If you add everything up, Machina is the only one who can attack. If you add all the pumps, the +6/+6, I have 10,100 worth of damage that I'm going to be swinging for. He wants to play it out just to see if the math is there. I swing with the plane for 11 flying. He's got to take it. I'll swing here 1,800 with Pierce with Mary Bell. He's going to use... He tries to discard a 12 Apostle to pump Gil up, but that is on the wrong side. It has to be on the dark side. So he's going to take 8 there. Brings me down to 21. He's tapped out and only has 2 blockers. I'm going to swing another Mary Bell with Pierce. That brings down another 17 down to 4, and he could... Even if he blocked everything else, it wasn't going to be enough. Just for good measure, I'm going to let the dummy doll finish him off for 600. 0 attack, but the pumps give it 600. So the dummy doll is going to be the kill shot and end the game. So it just goes to show just how lethal the machine deck can be. There was no damage dealt at all up until that point, and you go from no damage dealt to 10,100 worth of damage swinging. So that really was unbelievable, and there was nothing Mike could do about that, unfortunately. So there you go, guys. That is it. Good game, and really just, if you had to pick one moment in that game that was the turning point, it was definitely being able to play sniping from the blind spot on Behemoth. It was a clutch play. I avoided all that damage. He made Mike use all those stones, and it really, to just put all that together and not get anything through is a heartbreaker, and that's what makes sniping such an unbelievable card. Anytime I can play blue, I definitely want to play that. So guys, that is it. Would really like to know what you think. Just leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Always love to hear from you guys, and always like to get new subscribers, and just keep playing and just keep having fun with the game. So until next time, thank you for a few minutes, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.